Man, what's up, lifers? What's up, lifers? What's up, lifers? Welcome back, man. This is Dave Life. You're watching, at this point, Dave Life TV News. This is a full reaction, post debate reaction. I know we had a lot of comments that were going on in Twitter, a lot of comments in Facebook and Instagram, a lot of comments on YouTube, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you guys. Man, give me your reaction. Give me your reaction, you guys. Give me a reaction. Give me a real reaction to the debate. I know that we just finished. There was a lot going on here, and we will have um, the lifelong Democrat videos coming up next. Response to the Trump conviction that's coming up next. But first, yeah, man, I want to get you guys' reaction. Let me know in the comments. What did you think? Was it strong? Was it weak? How did you actually feel about the debate? Who had the best? Who had the best showing? Who had the best showing? Let me know. Well, we just watched the entire thing, so I want you guys to chime in. Let me know how you felt about it. The actual debate, man. It was something else. It was crazy. Um, I am gonna bring in a couple people that may want to react. In fact, if you are watching on YouTube, come on over to YouTube, man. Come on over to YouTube. Um, Go to youtube.com/ Dave Life TV, or go to YouTube, type in Dave Life TV, all one word, Dave Life TV, all one word, and you should see us. Uh, there's a link on YouTube. The link is there. If you want to join, don't be a troll. Don't come up here and use a bunch of crazy profanity and all that stuff. But I want to know. I want to know. Give me your real reaction, everybody. Come on to the stage and let me know. We'll keep this open as long as we're getting feedback. I'm gonna see what's happening on the gram. All right. Unfortunately, I will not go live on Instagram. You got to come to YouTube if you want to go live. So I see you guys. Give me your real reaction, everybody. Come on, come on, come on, come on up in here. Cool. Just pinned that comment. I see we got a few people watching. Yeah, a few people watching. Um. All right. So I'm trying to get some people up in here, but I'll go ahead and give you my take. You saw the live reaction live. Um. Man, I really felt like Joe Biden was strong in certain areas. I felt like he was still a little quiet in other areas. Um, I would say, for a first debate, it wasn't that bad. I didn't. I could care less about the golf swing and who did what. I wasn't. That wasn't my thing, so I could care less about that part. Um, but uh, overall, I felt like they both had points where they were demonstrative. I'm trying to be politically correct here, but there were times when I wasn't feeling what Trump was saying at all. There's times when I just wasn't with it. I was like, okay, I'm not feeling what he's talking about. I feel like there were times when Trump attacked Biden when he came for him being tired, older, sleepy, which we've heard all that before. I feel like the one thing that stood out to me as a black voter is they didn't talk enough about black issues. I heard a little bit, like I said, 2-3 minute spiel, but I didn't feel like they covered enough. Um, they did talk about January 6th. They did talk about the Ukraine war. They talked about Israeli-Palestinian war. They talked about NATO, and I felt like Joe came alive when Trump challenged the veterans, and when Trump challenged NATO. I felt like he came alive during both of those times. And I felt like Trump came alive when Joe mentioned felonies, because when Joe mentioned felonies, Trump mentioned Hunter Biden and him being convicted. Trump tried to deny that the Stormy Daniels payments didn't happen by saying he never had sex with a porn star with Stormy Daniels. When clearly he's been convicted on 34 counts of business fraud, and the payments to from his lawyers to her camp were validated. So Trump tried to say that he didn't sleep with Stormy. It was a few things, man. But I want to get some reactions from the crowd. What did you guys think? Put in the comments below, you guys. Put in the comments. I'll post it. What did you guys think? Let me see if we got anything coming through. What did you guys think of the debate? Who had the strongest outing? Shout out to all the guys on Instagram. I see you. I see the gram coming in strong. Rob, I see you. Kiana, Crystal, I see y'all. Thank you for joining. What y'all think? Train wreck? Good, bad? Let me bring someone to the stage. I got a U.S. veteran that's in here. Go ahead, mute your TV. Make sure your Wi-Fi is on, and give me a salute when you're ready. I'm gonna bring you on up to the stage. You ready? All right, my man. Come on up to the stage. Let me see where you at. Okay, there he is. Hold up. Listen. What's up? What's up, Sherrod?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Dave?
What's going on, Doc? Man, did you watch the debate?
Yeah, I watched this debate, and my dad calls me out the blue,
Uh-huh.
and he says if we elect Trump, he's gonna be a dictator. I just said, well, what has the current president done in the last 4 years? He's gonna be a dictator. I said, okay, Dad, we got it. I hear you, sir, but what has he done in the last 4 years?
Mm.
He's gonna be a dictator, and then he proceeds to hanging up on me like he normally does. He just bangs
Wait,
on me.
wait. He says if we elect Trump, Trump's going to be a dictator. That's what he said.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my dad is a so this I think the whole debate with Democrats and Republicans, not only is it generational, people really I tell people all the time, don't vote with your heart, vote with and vote with the facts, your
Okay.
mind, and also vote with your pocket. I tell people all the time, the greatest thing that happened to the world is people realizing and the devil making them realize that he didn't exist, right? So that's the greatest magic trick. There's three parts to a magic trick. That term was amazing. What black people have done is attach themselves to Democrats because of something that happened way back in the 1960s,
Okay.
right?
Which is
So
civil
you
rights.
had Civil Rights Act of 1964. But right on that was done with the right hand, right? And let's be honest, if you really know your history, the Texan, the Texan that signed it, the only reason he signed it because he was carrying out the will and act of JFK, which was just assassinated in 1963. It never would have occurred had we not had some powerful Adam Clayton Powell out of
Mm-hmm.
New York that went to him and said, "Hey, even when we watch some of our movies that depict it, he went to what's his name uh, uh, LBJ. He goes to LBJ and say, "Hey man, you gotta pass this. Black folk love JFK. They're gonna
Right.
burn this city down." He was forced to do it. He was reluctant. He in
Mm-hmm.
himself. I don't like calling people a bigot and a racist.
Okay.
I just like saying that they just like black folk, right?
Okay.
Or whatever minority that doesn't look like them. They just don't like them. They don't care for them. Whatever. But right on the backhand of that, on the left hand, what else was signed? It was another act that was signed. And he said out of his own mouth, this is depicted. You can look it up. You can Google it, chat it. You can fact check it. Whatever you want to do. What you have to say is, hey, Negroes gonna vote for us for the next 100 years. That's exactly what they're doing. So again, we give them a morsel over here,
Hmm.
so we can keep them at bay. But on the back end, this is the real magic trick. This is the real prestige. They don't even
So,
see the turn.
so what was the magic trick? What was the thing that we didn't notice?
So the magic trick was, and I believe it was the Healthcare Reform Act, right? So that's when healthcare. I mean, not healthcare. I'm sorry. I'm lying. Not Healthcare Reform Act. The Welfare Act. So
Okay.
now all of a sudden, you got you giving people monies, but the Welfare Act got taken out of context to a certain extent. So of course they should we're giving them this on the front end because that's a Kennedy campaign, that's a Kennedy keystone of what he's going to do. But on the back end, we're doing something else to make sure they're in our pocket for the next 100 years. If there ain't a church, a black church in America that's not conservative, because when they get too liberal, and just remember the churches now have become more liberal. Hey, you
Hmm.
don't have to dress up in your Sunday best to come
Hmm.
as you are. Well, didn't
Hmm.
God say that all this time before?
Hmm.
He been saying that from the beginning, come as you are. Now it's okay. You go to my church, a home church where I grew up at, people still look at you awkwardly, they judge you and all these
If you're
things
not in your Sunday best.
if you're not in your Sunday best.
So
Why?
okay, so let's
So,
let's bring it back. I'm not trying to cut you off. I want to make sure I'm centering the conversation. Everybody understands. So you feel like the Welfare Act was I guess the magic trick for black people to be in Democrats' pockets,
yeah.
for the next 100 years. So yes, you have rights. Yes, you can vote. Yes, desegregation. We get all that's wonderful. But guess
Mhm.
what? We also have these programs. All right. So okay, I've heard people say that before. So let's bring that back to the debate. Do you feel that Biden and the Democratic Party had a strong, weak, or neutral debate?
It was very weak. Point blank,
Why?
period.
Why?
As a leader, we do not notice that they never took a picture of um, FDR. They never took a picture of FDR um, in a wheelchair because it's not saying that he was weak. He's one of our greatest presidents. What happens is it's depicted in this. It's a perception of weakness when you have a cane, when you have a wheelchair, when you have a walker. Biden tonight looked even more geriatric than you've been hearing about because you saw it in real time. You saw it in real time. You also saw that his words were not there. His speech, his jargon and vernacular was slurred, and that's just because of age, and it may be a number of other things. The very second he got on, I looked at some people in the room and I said, he's going to do bad tonight because he already has a raspy voice, like
That's
he's
the
been
first thing I said. That's the first thing I said. And
not convinced me.
um, yeah, I definitely saw that, and I'm trying to be unbiased in the news report, right? But this is a reaction, so the reaction can be biased, right? I am a lifelong Democrat, right?
Right,
I do see myself as a conservative Democrat
right.
because I have traditional conservative values, but I also have some liberal social values, and I'm okay with that. Um,
So if I could, do you vote
yeah,
with your part? Why do you vote Democrat? Because you're very educated.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
very you
right.
make you have a great career.
Hmm.
Why do you? I vote with my pocket. I don't vote with my heart.
Because
And I
because
vote, and I'm a veteran, so I vote differently too.
no, right, and we're gonna get to that. And this is a fair conversation. I probably vote more with my heart towards people that are in the position where I came from. I believe in labor unions.
Okay.
I believe in fighting the powers that be. I believe in power to the people. I do believe in supporting those in need. I do. So
Okay.
when it comes to like welfare, when it comes to listen, I believe in women's rights to vote, to choose, things like that. I do
Agree
believe
with that.
in I do believe in non-discriminatory practices and values. Now let me get into that just a little bit. I've always felt like the Republican Party regardless of how well they may deal with tax laws, and regardless of how well they may benefit businesses. I've always felt like the Republican Party was bigoted and prejudiced against people of color, black people in specific. And I haven't felt comfortable with the Republican Party's jargon since Reagan. The financial practices of Reagan, how he benefited everyone but black people and the wealthy. He benefited the wealthy. The jargon of Bush one, the jargon of Bush two, and the practices. Um, and then we get into Trump. I personally, this is just Dave Life. This is my personal take. I don't feel that the Republican Party cares about black people, and I feel like the Republican Party actually pushes to keep the foot on the neck of black people, and add to that other people of color. If you want to get into Latinos, if you want to get into Native Americans, if you want to get into religious issues such as people who believe in Islam after 9/11, like you always have to have a boogeyman for the Republican Party to come after. And then they try to come off as the party of greatest character, greatest values, almost as though they're the conservative Christian party. And I have I as a Christian have issues with that. I don't know how you can have a president that's supposed to be, your party's supposed to be the conservative party, the party of God, the Republicans. But then the liberals, the Democrats are supposed to be, oh, they're the party from hell because they allow people to do all kind of stuff and they give condoms out to teenagers and they do all. So that's how they paint the two. They paint the two as the conservative right and the liberal left. I have an issue when you have the conservative right having a president saying you can do whatever you want. You can grab by the pussy. You can do all this. I don't like. It's a joke. Don't talk to me about a political party. Not you, right?
I
But
know.
people out there, don't talk to me about a political party being morally right because church and state are separate for a reason. So I'm not voting from a religious standpoint whatsoever. Am I voting with my pocketbook? Probably not, Sherrod, because at a certain point, I make enough where it would benefit me to have better tax laws for people that make over a certain amount and things like that. But I'm voting for family members and friends that are still in a position where I came from, that need the labor unions, that need the social economic stimulus packages, that need support programs like Social Security and welfare. I'm voting for them. And I'm voting for the party that I feel isn't overtly trying to oppress and down and destroy black folks, where I think the other party is overtly, especially under Trump. Trump's
So let me.
Republicans are another story for me.
So one. Let's make sure we quantify this. One, Trump is not a. He is a businessman that happened to run, who's always been historically a Democrat.
I agree with that, and he did.
So what has happened with media, and this is what me and my father talk about all the time. We have got to get away from these classes of government. All white people ain't Republicans, and all black people ain't Democrats. So if we could just get away from that, and we could just vote with the facts and the policies and what support us. I'm going to support any president, whether he's a Republican or a Democrat, that supports veterans, whether that be the PAC Act that was passed, but look at the Major Richard Starr Act, which is why we now has fall out of the MDAA and now is trying to get back in the fiscal year 25 in order to be omnibus or put back on another bill because it fell out a couple of years ago. Because what happens is they have all these omnibus, and what they do is they filibuster it so it falls out of a bill, but they stick it in. Trump came in day one, yo, here go 115 billion VA. Y'all get y'all shit together. Okay, cool. Check.
Republicans have historically benefited the defense budget
Of
and
course.
veterans.
Correct. So
Yep.
why so if my livelihood, if I'm a lifer in the military, do you think I care about the banter and rhetoric and jargon and vernacular that a person uses? Or do you think I'm more concerned about the bills that he's signing into acts?
Yeah, the budget. Yeah, what he's
You see what
passing
I'm
in the
saying?
bill.
And so many times people, I told people before this, like, oh, why did you vote that way? Or why did you vote this way? And when you're telling your rationale, reason why, because it makes sense to me. It don't got to make sense to you. That's why the good book said a man is saved by his beliefs, not yours and considering what you might think he might want to believe in. But we got to get out of the notion of just like, all Republicans ain't bad. I see a bunch of them when I'm lobbying on the Hill, and all Democrats ain't good, and all Democrats ain't bad, or vice versa. So a lot of times we just got to
Yeah, I agree with
understand
that.
what works for you, man, and your family. Like I asked my dad tonight, I said, "Hey, I gave you an example. We had a bridge out on our road for years. The same, and I will not tell what district it is, and I will tell not, but I will tell you it is a Democratic district, heavy. I called up the representative and I said, "Hey," because I went to high school with his daughter. I said, "Hey, such and such, what's up, man? How you doing?" He said, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah." I said, "Hey, this bridge has been out by my mother's house for this amount of time. We've told you about it. You've done nothing about it. You've done nothing to it." I called his daughter because his daughter is a representative. It's not, he's a senator in the state. She's a representative, so she took her dad's spot in the state. And I called up both of them. And I said, "Hey, what's up?" Da, da, da. Said, "Oh, we didn't even know about that." That lets me know you're not in your district. That lets me know you don't know the heartbeat of your district. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on day to day. I called up a not the incumbent, but someone who was running, right? That was a
Hmm.
Republican delegate. Shit got fixed in 1 week. Why is that, Dave? I didn't say anything differently to the people that I know that we
Yeah,
voted for years differently than the Republican candidate. Nothing at all. So I say all that to say this. I asked my father. I said, "Okay, what was Joe Biden's platform, and how do
yeah,
you grade him on what he's accomplished?" Because they always say, the black, Democrats do more for the black community. I
yeah,
say, "Okay, so tell me what has this particular person done for the black urban and rural communities where black folk at?"
yeah. Now that's a great question, and I'm going to be the first one to admit that I need to do more research because here's what I'm trying to do with this content. I want more people to get more involved. I want more people to become more invested, and I want to have these discussions like this. Because look, if you vote with your pocketbook and you vote Republican, and if I vote with family and my past in mind and people that may not be in the same bracket as me, and you call it voting with your heart. Maybe I'm voting on social issues.
Right.
And I vote Democrat, that's fine. But I feel like people should be able to have those discussions without it degrading into a mudslinging argument, which a lot of times that does, because people get so lost in "I hate Biden" or "I hate Trump." And they have a term for that now, Sherrod. They're calling they're calling it double haters. People that hate Trump and people that hate Biden. They're calling them double haters, DHs, and they're saying that both candidates were going after the double haters in this debate. So since we've had the discussion, and I know you got to retort. Since we've had the discussion, though, I want to center back on the debate. Go ahead and say what you were going to say, and then tell me, how did Trump and the Republicans do during the debate? Did they have strong, weak, or in the middle, neutral debate?
I think Trump is better at grandstanding. Like he at one point in time, like, so I'm big on protocol, right? He's still the
Hmm.
president of the United States, no matter who he is, Republican or Democrats. You
All
don't
right, right.
disrespect him for saying like he said something that make you chuckle. Like I don't know what the hell he just said. Did y'all understand what he just said? And Party was like everybody felt that because I feel the same way. Because you want so bad for Biden to do good, it ain't in him.
Mm.
It just ain't in him. He physically does not have the acumen, motor skills that he needs in order to have a great debate. Because he didn't
Is that
rebuttal a lot of the lies. The Republicans he was telling bold-faced lies about a lot of stuff. Trump was. But when you sound confident,
like
you,
what? Like what?
oh
Give
man,
me some bold-faced lies.
January 6th, he talked about that.
Oh God.
He talked about that exclusively.
Mm.
Ultimately, it doesn't fall on Nancy Pelosi. It still falls on the president of the United States. He did have a huge part in that, in doing an insurrection. He did. "Hey Dave, man, Ralph's got a sale on chicken. I ain't
Right.
telling you to go get it, but is for $5.99 and one night only. Now,
Right.
if you really love chicken, if I was you, I
Right.
ain't telling you to
That's
go, but I would
influencing.
go.
Yeah, that's directly influencing. It's hiding your hands. Throwing stones are hiding your hands.
It's socially motivating. It's propaganda 101.
Yeah.
The Nazis did it. The Nazis did it to American soldiers doing World War II. They did it
I
gracefully.
have I have a really good question. So you said that the Republican that Trump had a strong debate, or was it
No,
neutral?
no, 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 no. His debate was mediocre as well.
Okay, mediocre. Okay.
Right, it was mediocre, but his presence was better than Biden's presence.
Okay.
Orally, you could understand him. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah, he was clear.
and again, perception is reality. If I'm looking at a guy who's stumbling over words, I
Yeah.
automatically assume. And when we say judging, you can use any words you want to. But when we see a person who cannot get his diction together, he's stumbling over words, he doesn't have emphasis on the syllabus, we automatically refer him as not being prepared,
Mm.
not know what he's talking about, or he doesn't have the capacity to maintain what we feel he should know based on past experiences.
So, when I first watched, and people can go back and watch the live reaction, right? I let everything play and I chimed in. First thing I said was Biden sounds hoarse and his voice sounds weak, right?
Right?
Now, as it went on, it cleared up a little, but his voice was still, he was always at a lower register, kind of like that, kind of like he's, he
Yeah.
wasn't strong like Trump. Trump
Right.
was full chested. All right. So that's the first thing I know is Trump was full chested. Um, but I want to ask this. Would you consider yourself a Republican, or would you consider yourself someone that votes Republican because of he votes with his pocketbook? Like, is there a difference between I voted Republican and I am a Republican?
I am I am a registered Democrat,
Yep.
right? So I'm a registered Democrat. And the reason I'm a registered Democrat because when I first voted when I was 18, you talking
90,
about
91? No.
no chance.
That's me.
91.
That's me. That's me. 91. I first voted Bill Clinton. So you would have first voted in
Bush.
Bush and Gore,
I voted
2001.
for Bush. I voted for Bush.
2001. Yeah.
I voted for. I voted. I didn't. I voted. That was my first election.
Bush and Gore.
Bush and Gore. Bush and Gore. I voted for Gore because
Yeah.
Gore is a scientist after my own heart. He had
Yeah.
talks about global warming and greenhouse gases and the glaciers are melting. That resonated with me. I'm in college. I'm a scientist. I'm
Hmm.
an ag guy, so that means a lot to me. Bush was the same thing. I was like, okay, comes from money, has a part of the establishment. I would have voted for his brother, which at the time was the president of Florida,
Hmm.
Bush brother, more than him because he was more comprehensively sound with what he was saying. And it resonated with me, right? Gore
Hmm.
at the time, he'd already been president for 8 years. So him running for president now, you kind of knew what the process was, right?
Hmm.
So if I had to vote today, if you got two candidates, you got Biden or you got Trump. Well, I
Hmm.
already got 4 years of both of them. Which one? Which one made me economically sound where I can take care of my family and then in turn I can take care of my community? When a plane going down, what's the first goddamn thing they tell you to do? Hey man,
Cure
go.
yourself.
It said, hey, don your mask and
Yeah.
then you go help somebody else.
Yeah.
So
You
I
got to cure
can't
yourself.
take care of my community. I can't be harmoniously in where I need to be and give back if my own shit ain't together.
I understand, but the problem with and hey, this is a healthy discussion. Problem I have with the Trump Republican administration is the promotion, looking the other way, and encouraging of overt racism. I'm talking about Proud Boys, things of that nature. I'm talking about neo Nazis, and I have a question. I'm not going to call you a Trump supporter because I know you better than that.
Right,
but
right, right.
but you're a veteran for sure.
Mhm.
What? Let's get to the racism. Let's get to the Nazi thing. Why do some Trump supporters always bring up, oh yeah, Hitler was a genius. That's propaganda. I've seen that. Trump is good at propaganda. You've got to understand that he's a marketing genius. Why do people try to connect Trump with Hitler and that being some sort of badge of honor that he's as brilliant as a madman like Hitler? I don't understand the connection. And I understand people like I've heard Kanye say it. I've heard other people say it. They praise Hitler, they praise Trump. I don't
So okay,
understand how praising Hitler is a good thing.
so that's
But
a
anyway.
very delicate conversation. So from a military standpoint, you have to understand about leadership.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let's dive into Hitler, right? Let's just get
Mm-hmm.
there. First of all, I renounce Hitler and everything he stood for.
Amen, brother. Let's say that.
Very
I don't
simple.
I don't care how brilliant he is. I don't care
Right.
how militarily savvy he was. You
Right.
have to let people know I do not support a man that tried to commit genocide on an entire people
I
and
get
was a full-fledged maniac.
I completely agree with that.
Yep.
But the way he rose to power, it was ingenious.
I understand that. I understand that. So do people, in your opinion, and I wish I had comedian Steve Turner back on here so he could discuss this because he brought it up. Do people bring up Hitler in terms of him being a genius because they feel that Trump is also in his rise to power some sort of political or social genius? I still wouldn't want to be. If I were Donald Trump, would not want to be associated with Hitler in any way.
Because
Just period.
because of the massacre, right?
Damn right. I'm a
The
sensible
mass the
human.
mass murders.
I'm a sensible human being. I don't care how many people you helped. If
Yeah.
you
Right.
know,
So I think at the end of the day, one, you should never compare yourself to, should you ever compare yourself to a Genghis Khan?
no.
See what I'm saying? How about Stalin?
No, unless you want to be a dictator.
Unless you
And
want to be a dictator. So all these folks are like dictators. They
right.
believe in a communistic state of mind, not a democracy,
So
right?
having said that, how do you, and I'm not attacking you, I'm asking you as my brother, how do
Mhm.
you as a black man and a veteran say, hey man, I'm gonna vote with my pocketbook from my business side, but you may have to ignore all that we just said about Trump associating himself with dictators because it sounds like Trump want to be a dictator.
So
I
so
can't vote
so
my
so
pocketbook and look past a dictatorship. I
right.
can't.
Okay, so here's the
Personally.
catch. Did you know Trump was a dictator 8 years ago?
No. And great point, because when he was on The Apprentice, I was a fan. And people
Who
admitted it.
wasn't?
Listen, hip hop, black people were like, "Hey man, I want to be like Donald Trump." Yeah, I'm trying to have money like Trump. He was, the people's businessman. He was a billionaire. But then as
He
you see him
changed.
going into office, I'm hearing racist rhetoric. And I'm
Right.
like, wait, hold on, dude. I'm like, and this is the other thing. For him to be historically a Democrat and for him to say, if I was ever going to run, I'd run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid. I mean, he said that out of his own mouth. Republicans are stupid. They'll believe anything. If you just say this and say that, hold on. Then he went and did it.
Right. So
And he
you
proved
double
that
down.
statement to be so how do you insult a group's intelligence? And I just, as if I'm Republican, I can't look past certain things. I'm like, I can't support that guy.
So again, you have institutional knowledge with certain parties that like they're hardliners. Like they're gonna be a Republican, they're gonna vote Republican, no matter who the candidate is. But let the candidate be a black president. Had Obama ran for president on a Republican ticket, how many black folk you think would have voted for Obama?
About to.
No chance. No chance. Every black person in America who was a registered Democrat would say, I'm a registered Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat, but I never thought I'd see a black man be president in my life. So I'm gonna vote for him and support him. Okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Now you make a good point because the first black president was a phenomenon, and no one wanted to not vote for him.
Phenomenon.
That was black. I mean, hey, let's be real.
Exactly. You
Let's
don't
be
want to
real.
be caught on the wrong side of history.
I agree.
But Obama did more for gays than he did for blacks, right? I'm just giving you policy. I'm giving you
Now,
facts. I'm not giving
I,
you how I feel.
no, I understand. I understand, and I hear. Okay, let's talk about that. This is a great conversation, by the way. First of all, welcome back. This is Dave Life TV News. We're giving a live post-debate reaction. This is my homeboy and brother Sherrod. He is a United States veteran, and his guest hosting is important because he votes with his pocketbook, and he also is a military man. He votes with the military in mind and veterans in mind, and that's huge. Okay, so I'm glad you're here, and I really appreciate your feedback. Let's talk about that, man. If Obama had ran as a Republican, would we have voted for Obama? The
Absolutely.
answer is yes. The answer is
Yeah.
yes. Obama has done more for gays than he did for black people. All right. I've heard a lot of black people, I won't say a lot. I've heard some black people criticize Obama and say, hey man, you know, Obama didn't do so much for us, right? He did more for gay people. My question is this. Well, first of all, what could he do? Because Congress, he didn't have all of Congress at one point, right?
Did not.
He had to fight because he didn't always have the House, he didn't always have the Senate. So he was a lot of times out on his own. Um, and in terms of helping another group, do I care that another group gets help? Or do I care that my group didn't get help? What matters more to me as a black man?
A bit. Well, as a black man.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
be
what
real,
matters to you may not matter to me.
because we're not all the same.
We're not. Hey, like your boy said, we live in the same building, but we got different views, bro.
Agreed.
We got different views.
So if a black president helps out LGBTQ more so than black,
all black people mad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but it doesn't bother me as much. I'll tell you why. Because I might look and say, hey, is Congress more leaning towards LGBTQ and supporting those things? And is Congress more against the black agenda or black needs historically? I would ask that question. So I would say maybe he couldn't. Maybe his hands were tied. Maybe he couldn't.
No, the problem you run into is this. It all boils down to Reaganomics and economics, right? When Obama got elected, the very first thing black folks said is, we got a black president.
Right.
He about to save us and take us to Graceland.
Yeah.
No, he said, I'm here to make a change. He never said who that change was for. He never specifically said, I'm here to help all black people. And let's be honest, he can't come in dapping people up.
He can't come in
about like, I'm here to help all the Negroes out.
Like Key and Peele, like the Key and Peele skit, and he dapping everybody.
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Hey, how you doing?
He can't come in like Black Power. You can't do that.
He can't come in that way.
For all Americans.
Now, as time went on, he showed you more of the frustration of being a black man in office.
He did.
And then I think part of him probably, when he came back and he reflected, and I don't know, I'm assuming, he probably said, damn, I probably could have did more over here. Probably could do more of that. Maybe I didn't try as hard. But I think every president feels that way. I think by him being the first one, though, he had more of a burden or a monkey on his shoulder than most. Absolutely.
Of course. So let me say this. So bringing it back to Trump and so Trump comes in. Trump immediately starts with this racist rhetoric. We're building a wall. It's the Mexicans. It's the migrants. It's the Muslims. It's the he immediately starts separating.
So let's stop there. Name me one country that doesn't have a wall or border that's secure.
Well, hold on. A border that's secure is different than a wall.
Name me one country. If the best way to secure our border is a wall, how else would you govern securing our border?
You definitely would have to have.
Just letting people like, y'all come on in.
No, I agree. You definitely would have to have border patrol or some sort of
we've never had it? The fundamental reason why we've never had this is Democrat or Republican, we've never tackled immigration because it's such a sensitive topic.
Well, and first and foremost, America is
our country was built off of immigrants.
Come on. Who are we to say we're Americans when we came from every damn where else on the planet? Like, I understand that we formed. Yes, I understand we formed. So therefore, if we're one nation under God, we better tread lightly when we didn't took this nation from Native Americans and others. Just hear me out. If we claim to be a moral country, and we came in, we need to allow other people to come in and have a civil process. Gorbachev, take that wall down, right?
Yeah.
The Great Wall of China. Do we really want a physical structure which tells people, hey, you can't come in, and guess what? You can't leave. You see what I'm saying?
All
It
right.
feels, it's symbolic, of course, because there's ways to leave, but it's symbolic. But I felt like Trump, going back to Trump and Biden, I felt like Trump came in, and as Obama tried to help his people, but his hands were tied. I felt like Trump came in and revealed himself, and he started helping the Proud Boys and others, and he never took a strong stance against white supremacy, and I had a real issue with that.
And
I
so
had a
and
real,
so
I
did
had
and
a
so,
real
and so
issue.
did I. And so
Yeah,
did I.
yeah,
But would you rather? And I often tell this people, and you're absolutely right. I voted for him because of an economic standpoint and what I believe that he was going to do. When I started thinking the incidents that happened in Charlottesville, I was like,
yeah,
nah, you got to be on top of that. The incidents that happened with some of the cop killings, you got to be on top of that. You got to
yeah.
renounce that, and if you don't renounce it, what happens is it breeds and it starts to morph into something else
It's
that
a
you don't
powder
want to see.
keg. It's a powder keg.
Powder keg. It's a powder
Hmm.
keg.
So that's
So
why I can't support Trump. So going
don't
back, did
support him now. We're talking about the first time. This time around, I
okay.
can't support him because of some of the rhetoric and stuff that he said. But at least you know where he's coming from.
Well, hold on. So let's talk about that. By the way, this is a reaction to the it's post debate reaction. So you said that both Biden and Trump had mediocre
Oh yeah.
debates. All
Both
right.
of them had mediocre debates, but from an incumbent standpoint, Biden sucked a little bit more. They
Okay.
both sucked. I mean, let's
Christine
establish
said the
that.
same thing. Christine said the same thing. She said Donald Trump did not have a good night. Joe
Right.
Biden had a bad night.
There's a huge difference in that, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna push back on that a little, just a little, because I did see Biden, and we can close this out too. By the way, everyone that's watching on YouTube, we are actually premiering another episode that's happening right now on YouTube, and that is the episode of a lifelong Democrat. Let me share this tab instead. A lifelong Democrat, Tom Jackson, reacts to the Trump guilty verdict and gives a history of the Democratic Party. That episode is happening right now, you guys. So um, if you get a chance, go check that out afterwards. Myself and Tom, he broke it down. So shout out to Tom. And I think, you know what? You would enjoy that one, Rob, because he goes to the history of the Democratic Party, which I know you already know about. So yeah,
And
check that out.
also, and real quick, just to mention that the Republican Party was cool at first until it got infiltrated by the KKK. So nobody really gets into that.
He said that. He said that. He said
Come
he
on,
said that. He brought that up.
come
You
on,
and you and Tom would have a great conversation. He
come
talked about
on.
the infiltration of the KKK. He talked about
Oh yeah,
how the Democratic Party was racist, and then they had a bunch of stuff going on, and they moved over to the other side. All the
absolutely
racists said, "You know what? We can go over here and get more off." So they became Republicans,
correct. And nobody talks about that.
and
So,
nobody talks
but
about
but
that.
I blame the media for that too because they skew it. They
They do.
skew it. I
They
told you,
do.
man, that magic trick, man, that three parts of the magic trick
Yeah,
is
it's something
tough.
else. All
It's
right. So
tough.
getting back though, get that's live right now, you guys. Check it out. We're probably 20 minutes into that episode. So it's a 40-minute episode. So enjoy that on Dave Life TV News. But we're live tonight discussing reacting to the debate. And Rod, I gotta ask you this. Um, Biden had a bad debate, Trump had a mediocre debate.
Right.
Um, when Biden spoke up, and this should hit home for you, I saw Joe Biden have the most energy, and I'm gonna say it, forgive my language, the most balls in going against Trump
Mm-hmm.
when I heard him talk about NATO
Mm-hmm.
and how you don't the America should not rescind from NATO. And I heard him talk about the veterans. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, hold on now. He said, no, you're not going to talk about these veterans. He really kind of got in Trump's butt about veterans and criticizing veterans and about wanting to leave NATO and possibly starting World War III by supporting the Russian, attack on
Right.
Ukraine. How did you feel as a veteran hearing Joe Biden kind of speak up for your comrades, man?
Um,
Do you
comrade,
think he was strong enough?
yes. So let's talk about NATO first. Let's break this down. Number one, when you have allies, once again, our country was built off of Christian ideologies, Christian principles. That's why we will always support Israel, because that's a biblical thing, right? Those that support Israel will always be blessed. Those that don't will vanish. Oh my God. But because our country was founded off of Christianity, Christian ideologies and beliefs, right? So when it comes to NATO and allies, we have to support our allies, right? Most times we support our allies because there's usually a vested interest, no matter who the president is. So yeah, we support Israel for certain reasons. We support Kyiv for certain reasons. We can't let Russia just take back the whole USSR. So we support them, but it's because of agriculture. It's not just because Belinsky always comes over here and he got on the same fatigues looking like a Q that he's been wearing for the last 15 times he's been over here. No, we have a vested interest there. We ain't just supporting them just for free. But NATO, we have to support our allies. We should not fall out of that because, yes, smaller countries will get taken over by dominant countries like China or Russia. Russia, Putin was just in North Korea last week looking like a god. They had marquees and banners and everything to his liking, to stroke that ego. So we have to stay vigilant with NATO. We have to be allies with them, because that's our job as a world leader, right? We're a big brother to a lot of countries for a number of reasons. The second question you asked was how he stuck up for veterans. Let's
Yeah,
look at it from a personal standpoint. One,
Biden.
he had a son. Biden had a son that died. He never served, but he had a son that died, right? Faithfully, gallantly died. He stuck up because outside of the GI Bill, in the last 50 to 60, 70 years almost, the PAC Act is probably one of the largest veterans bill that has ever been passed.
Explain the PAC Act briefly to my audience. What is the PAC Act?
So PAC Act, right? So you had the PAC Act that was passed last year, and you have a lot of your VSOs, veteran service organizations, that were very instrumental in supporting that to get it passed, to make sure that veterans, toxic exposures, things of that nature, cyanitis. I went over to the desert. I had some ailments that came from that, whether they be primary or secondary, or whether they be different ailments that you got from being overseas. That gave you the authorization to get some of those things, Agent Orange, things of that nature, to get passed. So the PAC Act basically saying, we got a lot of these veterans that have suffered from Korea to Desert Storm to even now with OIF and OEF. This is what we need to get to help our veterans, right? That's just what it is. As of March 5th of this year, Secretary of the VA, McDonald, said, you know what? We're not just talking about all those commercials you see on TV with all those shark predatory claims companies that say we're going to help you, but see, they take a percentage of the money from you. Well, the VA already got over 2,000 accredited service officers to help you with that. So now you're talking about the Major Richard Starr Act that they're trying to pass as well. Some of that was in committee on the back end of probably started talking about on Trump's watch, but a lot of it transitioned and got signed on Biden's watch. So who's going to get credit? Biden's going to get credit, arguably so, because that's one of the first things he did when he got in office was sign the PAC Act, right? So you can go to va.gov and learn all the great things there are about the PAC Act and how that might affect you and your family. The problem you run into is this. Most of our leaders and presidents, with the exception of the last couple of ones we've had, have all served in the military. So they know what it is to support veterans and their families, their widows, their orphans. We've gotten away from that. Now we have politicians that are not politicians, they're businessmen like Trump, or their life politicians like Biden. But he gets it right. He's been around politics for 60 years, damn near. So as a veteran, I like the way he spoke up for it, but so did Trump.
Yeah,
They both spoke valiantly about veterans in the accident.
I did catch that. I thought that Biden woke up though when he was
Yeah, because it
mostly
hit
Sleepy
home.
Joe. Yeah, it hit
It,
home
it,
for
it
him.
hit home. It hit home for him. And I think that's what we want out of all our leaders. One, you got to be resilient when it comes to things that hit home for us. and a
Yeah.
lot of Americans hit home. Did we fumble Afghanistan and how he pulled out? Again, that was a feeling that was personal. He did that on behalf of his son.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we left a country in turmoil the wrong way. We
Yeah.
did. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, if you go to any three shop, if you go to any three shop in the military, from a strategic standpoint, and I got an island in my kitchen that's probably like 8 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah.
It's a sandbox and how we should maneuvers on a battlefield. We maneuvered that completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how I feel. It's just a fact,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't lead people. We lead people better than we found them, right? It's like the Boy Scouts. It's like Boy Scouts honor. Leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
We didn't do that in Afghanistan. How we pulled out for us to
Understood.
fight, because I lost people in Afghanistan. I went to Afghanistan. I know people that we can't call their name today because they can't answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that how we left was just totally wrong.
Yeah.
So
And let me say
he
this.
didn't gain a lot of points on that.
Let me say this to you and all the veterans. Thank you for your service.
Oh man,
And I mean that
thank you for your support. Yeah,
because freedom ain't free. Freedom is
it
not
ain't,
free.
man. And when you go outside this country, you realize that, oh shit, let me get back to America real quick.
And that's, this is going back to the whole Democrat Republican thing. Democrats can believe in democracy and they can
Yes,
believe in this great republic that we have, and they can believe in the United States. Some people paint Democrats as not being patriotic, as being so liberal that they are against the United States, and that's not always true. I think like you said, black people are not homogeneous. Hey man,
correct,
same thing. You know what? White people are not homogeneous.
correct,
Democrats are not homogeneous, and
correct.
neither are Republicans. So yeah, we definitely uncovering a lot here. I want to ask this question about the debate. Did the debate in any way change or influence or lean you towards or against a vote? However you may have felt 4 years ago, you feel more or less that way after this debate, or the debate was too much of a debacle for you to feel anything?
No, I can decipher through it. The debate didn't do anything to me today. It didn't change my vote and how I was going to vote at all. I knew the debate was going to be a shit show. I just didn't know the debate was going to be so much of a shit show when you look at your commander in chief like, oh my God, he's really in bad shape.
Yeah.
Like in one of the commentaries, I was listening to CNN and another, I think MSNBC, and then I listened to everybody.
Hmm.
I think you can draw from everybody. And he
Hey,
said,
and listen, not only do you listen to, but you're on Dave Life TV News.
and I definitely listened to Dave Life TV News.
Hey man, okay.
So the crazy part about it, one of the commentators said, you know what? We shouldn't pity Joe. We should pray for him because he's in bad shape. Physically, he's in bad shape. What it let me know is, and I blame this. I blame this on the party. I blame this on his advisors. I blame this on the VP. They should have gave that boy a cocktail. They should have gave the president a cocktail. You can't put him in a position like that to show weakness.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Should have
What
gave him
type of
cocktail.
you talking about an actual drink?
No, hold on. I
Okay.
don't want this cocktail to be confused about what other hip hop rap moguls in in the news.
I just wanted to be sure.
Let
I'm
me
like,
let me let me differentiate what I'm referring to.
yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
understand.
they should have had a nurse on standby to give him an IV bag, right? They
Okay.
should have gave him some type of infusion.
Electrolyte, caffeine, some
Right.
B12, something
I
to get him
mean,
up.
shit, this has some damn Pedialyte on deck to drink with his own ass, some Gatorade. But they
Right.
needed something because he had a lack of energy. And, yeah.
I got a question. Did
Yeah,
you, and
right.
I mentioned this, and then we can close this out in a few minutes here. I mentioned this and I said, when Joe Biden and when the female facilitator from CNN, when they mentioned black people and they kept saying black people, they were
Yeah.
stuttering. I saw a lot of the blacks, black Americans. And then I ain't gonna lie, Trump was like, listen, man, when you deal with the blacks, you got to do this. And I've talked to the black community. Trump was saying it with his chest. And I said, now either he speaks a lot about black folks in private, positively or negatively, I don't know, but he says it a lot because Trump was just rolling like, okay, I ain't got no problem talking about blacks and black Americans and black problems. But Biden and even the young lady on CNN, I forget their names, they were stumbling and stammering. And I'm like, yo, man, you cannot be afraid to talk about black people and black problems and the black agenda and the black community. And you are the president, or you're a public figure. You can't, especially the presidency. So I don't want to hear no stammering and stuttering. Did you notice that? Am I off base? Because I noticed it.
Why do you think you noticed it, and what do you think is the contrast between the two? You know why it was easy for Trump? Let me let you know a secret. I know a lot of people in life. I've done a lot of different things. Somebody has personally told me behind closed doors, Trump is one of the coolest and easiest persons to talk to. You would think that you're talking to a cousin or an older uncle. You wouldn't even think that he's the president. You don't, black and white are out the window. He's just talking to you like an ordinary person because he's comfortable with it. I've heard this to somebody very, very, very close.
Okay.
This ain't hearsay. This is what I'm telling you. This person has told me. He said it's something that happens when the light comes on. Though he changes.
So listen. So the reason I folded my arms because I said, look, Kwame Brown from The Apprentice season 1. They said in the green room, Trump asked the production team, how would you feel if an N-word won? How would you I like Kwame, but how would we feel if an N-word won? So, so now listen.
Shout out to the brothers, by the way. Shout out to Kwame.
Shout out to Kwame. he A5A? That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's a skinny cat, right? Dark skin?
Yeah, Kwame. Yeah.
He friend all that shit. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Or are you thinking about the guy that won season 2?
Kwame Brown, the past mayor of Detroit?
No, sir. And not the NBA player, no, sir. We're talking about Kwame from season 1. We got to look that up. You might be even thinking about, it could be Kwame. Did he have a bald head that's A5A?
Like low haircut.
That's
dark
Kwame.
Skin cat.
That's Kwame. That's Kwame.
Yeah,
that's Kwame. The other guy that won season 2. I think he kind of had a bald. He was tall too, but no, Kwame was a slim, low fade. Yeah, dark skin cat. Yeah. All right. So look, question, man. Kwame and them said they heard Trump drop the N-word. Hey, man, how can you be cool behind closed doors, but then you getting these gaffes with people in the room? Well, America supported for N-word one? These gaffes where people are talking about there's good people on either side of the. So what is his problem? If you're a cool man, I'm gonna tell you what I think Trump's issue is. I think Trump is an opportunist.
Because I think both of them tolerate black folk. I think they tolerate, and I think some are tolerate. You got to remember now, these men are in the top 1% of their gilded profession, right? So you're talking about Trump. However much money he got, we ain't got. So we're not in that class. We're not in the room and having those conversations that he's having. We're not at that level yet. Biden is probably one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. He's in a different tier than we are. So I think they tolerate lesser individuals, whatever ethnicity that may be. It may be their own ethnicity. It may be some old white folks that they don't tolerate. He's like, he's beneath me. Nah, leave him out. That's just what it is. But I think they both tolerate him. But I do think one is more comfortable talking to people than the other one is. Because one's a politician, the other one's a businessman. You mute.
My bad, bro, because I was looking at the Instagram comments. Biden is definitely a politician. Yeah. Biden definitely has some prison policies that I wasn't cool with back in the day. Biden has some segregation policies that he supported or didn't really oppose back in the day. So let's just put that out there. Ain't nobody.
But so does this vice president.
Look vice president
in California.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Kamala. Yeah, she was hard.
It's not how you feel. It's just the facts.
Yeah, Kamala was hard on black folks in California. She was tough on crime. Yeah. So I'm going to acknowledge all of that because this is a fair show. So having gone back to that, if Trump is so cool in private, you saying that the lights come on and he's something different. I think that Donald Trump goes where the money is, man. And I think if donations are coming in from white supremacists, if people who if staunch Republicans who only look at the dollar and the bottom line, or if you have staunch Republicans that are looking at the dollar, but they're also very bigoted, right?
Mhm.
And again, going back to feeling supreme or better than someone else, I feel
Mhm.
like if Trump is getting money from those groups, he don't want to upset his base. So that's why when the lights turn on, he gonna act a little different. I think Trump is gonna go where the money flow. I really do. And I think that Biden, you're right, he's a career politician. He's probably just looking at the polls and his ratings and helping the party do well, because once the party gets in, they can do a lot behind the scenes, especially if you
Correct.
got the Senate and the House
The
of
House.
Representatives
Yep.
and executive office. And Trump has done, and I don't like this, man. Trump has in his tenure gotten a lot of Supreme Court justices appointed. Like a lot. It was it three?
3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's 3.
And,
I think
and you
I
know,
think Biden only appointed 1, and that was a black female. That was the
yeah,
last.
and Obama, he did a good number when he was there. But I feel like Trump and them be stacking the deck, man. I feel like they looking at the system. They saying, "Hey, look, we got these Supreme Court justices, cool. Congress is kind of handled over there, cool. I'm gonna get the presidency, and now
So
we can overturn Roe v.
no, no,
Wade,
no, no, no.
and we can do all these
Absolutely,
things." See what I'm saying?
absolutely. But guess what though? That's exactly what attorneys do in court. That's
Mm.
exactly what they do. Guess what we're gonna do, man? Hey, you know what we're gonna do? I need that person because they look like they're from a certain demographics. My client is from a certain demographics. I need all of his peers,
Oh, do it.
because we
Jury
have we
selection.
have a jury of your peers. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you do. You do that exactly. So why am I not? Why am I going to hang around? Why am I going to be on Dave? Why am I going to be on Dave Life's TV news if we don't have similar mindsets about
I agree.
business,
Yeah,
about news, about politics, the way we view the world? Now we can have adverse thought processes, but ultimately we see the common ground in it. We might not agree, but we see the common ground.
yeah,
I'm not like a bigot and saying, Dave, everything you're saying is fucking wrong. You're a loser. No, there's a common sense approach. So
right.
he's only going to hang around people, elect people, put people in positions that can benefit him.
Yeah,
That's why
somewhere.
they. That's why they say the Supreme Court is a bunch of bullshit. To be honest with you, if you ask me,
Yeah, I think they need terms, man.
I
Lifelong
think they need terms.
appointment, that's some BS, man.
I think they
You
need
got it.
terms.
Yeah, they got to have some 8 years, something. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Right. I mean,
Lifelong
look at.
appointments.
I mean, but look at it from a standpoint. Look at Clarence Thomas. You think Clarence Thomas is not a conservative Republican?
Of course he is.
Look at all the scrutiny they gave him.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, so that's why I say this whole, you gotta vote with, like you said, you vote with your heart. That's cool. Some people vote with their pockets, right? Some people vote with policy. They
Yeah,
only vote with policy. Um, but again, the one thing they tell you not to talk about is what? Church and politics, right?
and sex. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
It's
Those
like
are
it
the
leads to
three things.
politics.
Three things you don't talk to at work.
That's
Church, sex, and politics.
because you get in heated debates, and some of
Yeah.
it, again, it is fundamentally in some people, and they can't even tell you why.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think to close out the reaction episode here, some people, Sherrod, are gonna feel how they feel. There's
Mhm.
nothing you could say to some people to make them not vote for the Democratic Party the rest of their life or not
Right.
vote for Joe Biden. There's nothing you could say to some people that will never move them off the Republican Party
That's true.
or will never move them off of Trump. Because I
Yeah,
believe you got Trump Republicans and then you have Republicans,
absolutely.
right? It's with every presidency. You got Obama Democrats and you got Democrats. You
Right.
got
So
Biden
are they
Democrat.
supporting the person or are they supporting the party? Because see,
Exactly.
they're like me. Okay, I support that. Okay, Trump, you talking about doing this for veterans? You talking about doing that? Okay, cool, man. But when you start talking that other stuff, I renounce you, bro. I be like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
You can't start making Hitler comments
Yeah.
in comparisons. You can't do that. You can't
Yeah.
say it if you were a dictator. Now, I'm all about you putting up a wall if you put it up in a constructive way, because we do need to protect our southern borders, northern borders as well. There's the whole reason why we got a fleet over there in Hawaii, so we don't have kamikazes
Damn
coming
right.
over
So
talking about Toro,
yeah,
Toro, Toro anymore.
Pearl Harbor. That's right. We learn.
You
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying? We learn from our mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Great conversation here.
Yeah, man.
You know what? Let's close it out. We've been on for an hour. For everyone that's been watching, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe to Dave Life TV on YouTube. Make sure you follow on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. I don't like calling it X. What? That's just goofy.
It does sound perverted.
It does. It sounds like it's two X's short of not safe for work.
Right. Oh, right.
What's your X address? Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, this
Follow
say
me.
I got all. This say you got all your social media handles. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah, we're Dave Life TV on everything, believe it or not. So follow us on Dave
Right.
Life TV. You can also catch Sherrod on the After Dark podcast, where the fare is a little lighter. We talk about relationships and everything, but his capacity as a veteran got him on the news tonight, and this is a perfect night for that. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you, Sherrod.
Appreciate it, King.
All
Thanks,
right, man.
man. Hey,
Yes, sir.
take care, brother. Have a good one.
All right, thank you, bro. Hey, you guys, thank you for watching Dave Life TV News. We have been covering the Trump and Biden debate. It's been a very, very historic and interesting debate. These are the first two presidents that have debated. I mean, one is a former, one is a current. But anytime other has been presidential candidates, not people who've actually sat in office and can have a discourse. So this was interesting for tonight, man. I see the comments. Someone said Trump went from a black church meeting to a white power meeting right after it on Sunday. Shout out to Rob. Man, Cashmere K, thanks for joining. She said, enjoyed the discussion. Someone else, Show Week, said, hey, I heard the same thing from someone. They said that Trump is pretty cool in person. Like, he's just down to earth person. All right. So look, I can respect it, man. Shout out to everyone that's been watching. Make sure you guys, if you're not following, please go to YouTube, follow and subscribe. We need the subscribers to go up. And if you look at YouTube, we have playlists. We have the After Dark podcast playlist, and we have the Dave Life TV News playlist. Plus, we have a bunch of old legacy playlists that were up there. So go look for the content. It's out there. It's great discussions. Subscribe, follow, share. Hey, man, we'll see y'all next time. I appreciate everybody for joining. This is Dave Life for Dave Life TV News, man. Thank you, everybody.